In this episode, I bond in the fore-aft stiffener under the wing deck and then get stuck into making and fitting the bulkheads. It's an exciting time as construction takes on the appearance of a catamaran at last, and the inside layout begins to show. So I'll epoxy glue up against the flanges here and on top, and we'll lift it into place and put temporary screws through the side into the flange, and probably tomorrow I should be able to use fiberglass to bond across onto the wing deck. I think there's a couple of layers each side, and it'll actually go right round the whole stiffener as well. So let's see how it goes. It was a sort of a job fiberglassing upside down under the hull. In fact, I didn't even film it. It was so difficult working upside down, having resin drip back on you and the cloth falling out every now and again, but it's done, and the first layer of microbloons has been pasted onto it. Resin dripping down on you, dust clogging the air, and endless sanding. Why? Why am I doing this? It's almost a kind of torture. Well, the answer is simple. Because there's nothing quite like the satisfaction of seeing your creation take shape, knowing that every drop of sweat and every grain of dust is part of something extraordinary. It's the anticipation of the launching day and the fun that will follow. Now for the bulkheads. Once again, the cut files are sent to the CNC router, and in a matter of minutes, perfectly shaped bulkhead sections are produced, ready to laminate and install. The process I used to have the bulkheads in place was firstly to pre-wet about 6 cut strips of fiberglass with resin and just stack them onto a polythene drop sheet. And secondly, with a roller, wet out the area they will be placed over. All the bulkhead joints were wiped down with a solvent and lightly sanded. Then an epoxy glue filler was applied and neatly coved. The accuracy of computer-aided design is amazing. This main saloon cum cockpit bulkhead had to have about 3mm shaved off a short section within the port hull, and thereafter the fit was perfect. The last major bulkhead to fit is the transom. That's the back of the boat. It consists of 3 sections, parts that fit down in the hulls and the curved section that is placed on the cockpit floor. The foam for this was attached to a curved former, and layers of fiberglass both sides gave it strength and stiffening. This tool I'm using is called a laminating roller, or in some places it's referred to as a bubble paddle. Its job is to remove air bubbles from the laminate and squeeze out excess resin. It's been just on 6 months since I started this project, and as you can see, we've got all the bulkheads in. There's a couple of fore aft bulkheads to go up near the front area, but they're all bonded in except the 2 at the transom here. I've still got to do those. So progress, another probably month I suppose, and I can start thinking about putting the foredeck and side decks and the windscreen pillars and things like that in place. The last few days I've been working on the bow section here. This is the anchor locker, and we have a chute that comes out of there that goes to the fair lead for the anchor. Now the trend in this part of the world with these sort of boats now is to use drum winches. They're certainly a lot tidier, you don't have rope jams and things like that. So we'll have a stainless steel fair lead on the front, and there will be a roller across there, and the drum winch will be mounted on a plate on an angle down there. In this sort of setup, you've got to get as great a distance as you can between the roller and the drum so that the warp and chain goes on evenly as you wind it in. So I've got a bit of bracing there. I've glued it up, and later on I'll bond it all with fiberglass, tidy it up, and go to the next step. There's quite a bit of locker space up here. Everything you see there will be locker space for the double berth up front, which will be right where I'm standing. And over on this side, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. After quite a bit of deliberating, finally got some measurements and cut out one of the cockpit hatches. I've still got to do the other. It looks quite large there. There's an advantage in that the chine offers you a step to get down into it, but we're going to lose probably 50 mils all around because of the gutterings that have got to go in there to drain water. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Too late now anyway. What I'm doing here is making a former for the fiberglass drainage channels that will stop water getting into the lazarettes. Once again, polythene sheet is used as a parting agent to separate the glass laminate of the drains from the former.
Ika, look at Granddad. Something happened to his pants.
Oh no, what happened to his overalls?
Oh, is that what this is? Oops.
Before I start laminating, it's time to put the gloves on and so they don't stick and sweat too much. You put some talcum powder in. I've had trouble getting talcum powder that's not perfumed. At the end of the day you smell like a hooker's boudoir, but it's the only stuff I can get. A bit of powder in there. Just a progress report. The last couple of days I've put on the shear plank, or as more commonly known as the false gunnel. That's been glued in place, so the next day or two I'll fiberglass that in place. So what we've now got is, with the shear plank there, there'll be quite a wide side deck across here, and then we go up to the cabin sides, and of course the side deck merges into the foredeck. Meanwhile, if we make our way forward, what you see down there is the backwater holding tank. The toilet will be down over there, and it will pump sewage into the tank where it can be later either pumped out or disposed overboard in a permitted area. And on that uplifting note, this episode comes to an end. But in the next one, the fuel and water tanks are installed and the foredeck is put in place.
That's all for today, folks.
See you next week.
Make sure to like and subscribe.